All right, here we go. So we are live on YouTube and on Facebook. Did you know So on YouTube, you may not be able to see me very clearly. I hope you're able to hear me properly. So if you have any questions, you can start posting in the comment box. I've got 10 viewers on TikTok. I want everyone, if you guys are able to hear me, please, if you guys are able to hear me, please give me a thumbs up and start posting your questions, okay? All right, so I want everyone to bring questions on YouTube or on Facebook, if preferably. But I'll take, for the time being, I'll take questions from everywhere. Okay, at the moment, I'm taking this question, and the question comes from Meka Mohan. Hi, sir. I have 70 points for 190 and 80 points for 491 for ENSCO financial market dealer. Could you advise the status and please check? That is a very good question, Meka. Generically, these finance related occupations, that includes finance managers, accountants, and any other occupation, actuaries and stuff, they are not in priority. If you are on lower points, the chances of invite from the states are limited unless you have superior English and you have 5+ years of work experience. That was my experience in the last financial year. And because the nomination places are not increasing or decreasing, they are more or less staying the same. So we expect the states to behave in the same way, okay, as they did last year. Okay, so I would be simultaneously taking questions from all platforms. Okay, please help me in double tapping the screen. And if you are new to my YouTube channel or on Facebook, please do not forget to hit that follow or share button. Okay, so we have a question from K. Lyotel. K. Lyotel is asking, ECT with 65 points, which state is better? Okay, very good question. I think many of you want to know this answer to this question. Let me share my work experience with you guys. In financial year 2024-2025, I'm just talking of the year which has just concluded. I was approached by one of my TikTok followers in the month of October. This guy had ECT skills assessment and he was waiting for invites while he was in Melbourne. He only had 55 points on his own. And looking at his situation, I recommended him to get his employer to transfer him internally in the same organization in a regional location in Victoria, and he did so. And he had a full-time employment as a ECT in the regional location. And he had the lowest points, 55 only on his own, because he was 40+, and he had a very, very complex visa history as well. He was on a bridging visa C or something. So we moved him from Melbourne to regional Victoria, and then Victoria invited him for 491. And I am so happy to say that his visa was granted in the month of February, within 3 months. So with the right strategy, you can achieve your goals. But can you make that strategy by just, talking to someone over the phone or talking to your friends or maybe your relatives? No. Trust professionals, a person who is honest, ethical, and who has the capability to guide you. Sometimes what happens, people come to us, we recommend them, and if I follow up with them like 2 or 3 months later or 2 or 3 weeks later, they still are not sure. And I still ask them, do you still have any questions? We are here to help you, but it's not going to help you unless you make that decision. Okay. So who is the decision maker? It is just you. Is going to be really, really important. So if you are someone on very low points, my preferred state would be regional Victoria and having full-time job in regional Victoria. Okay, if you have any chance, that is your chance. All right, we have 41 viewers on TikTok. I want everyone to please double tap the screen, and if you have questions, you can bring on YouTube as well as on Facebook as well. And I am going to, I think, Meka Mohan, I have already addressed your question. Second question on YouTube is, sir, hasn't Australian government announced IT is in priority? Unfortunately, no. So Prerna Talreja, IT is not in priority this financial year. But don't get disheartened. Okay. At the moment, we are undergoing, huge housing shortage in Australia, and this is affecting the migration negatively. And that is one of the reasons that some of the occupations would not have a lot of chances this financial year. But that does not mean it is going to stay next financial year. If you are looking to come to Australia and if you want to settle here, continue working on your points. Okay, higher the points, the better the chances, and make sure if your EYs run out, because when you do EY, it is only valid for 2 years. Make sure you do that again. Okay, Sahil Gupta, any chance for private tutors from India? 80 points. My own done PhD in botany. Which state has priority previously invited, and what points? Private tutors are not a great scope. It was a good occupation a few years back, but I haven't seen a lot of movement in last 1 or 2 years for private tutors. Okay, look at states like Northern Territory, look at states like Tasmania, and maybe Western Australia. Okay, but the chances are not looking good this financial year, especially for in that occupation. Although it is a teaching related occupation, but it is because it is a private tutor, it not primary or secondary or tertiary, or not early childhood teaching. So those three occupations are in high priority, but not the private tutors. But that does not mean that you've got no chances. Okay, make sure you have the highest possible points, and make sure your EYs and ROIs are done properly, whatever is required in that financial year. Okay, I would love to see more questions from different people rather than having the same follow-up questions from the same person. So please start posting your questions in the comment box. I am also taking questions on TikTok as well, but I've got like few questions coming on YouTube and I think on Facebook. So my preference is to give you answers to those questions on those platforms, because I can share the question with everyone, and everyone knows what the question is, so they can relate it to themselves. Okay. Lovedeep Sidhu is saying living and working in ACT as early childhood teacher with 95 points. I think Lovedeep, your profile looks good to me. 95 for 491. I'm not sure 95 your own points. If you have 95 your own points, then no one can stop you from getting invited. I'm not sure why you didn't get invited for 189 in the latest round. Classic FL is saying 40s. Can we get PR from offshore? Depends what your occupation is. Okay, and how Canberra 95 points as a city. So Lovedeep, if you have Canberra matrix 95 points, we have to look for the new financial year's the criteria, and then see how it relates to your profile. But if your visa is valid for next 1 to 2 years, you can wait in Canberra. If not, then you may need to explore other options. Okay, if anyone wants to talk to me, if you want to get your profile assessed, then please head to my website and you can book appointment from there. Okay, now all of you, there are 72 viewers we have from TikTok. If you guys are new to my live shows, please do not forget to hit that follow and like and share button, because we do these live shows very frequently. And our purpose at Endeavour Education and Migration Services is to help you guys, giving you that generic information which may not be directly related to your profile, but at least gives you a bit of idea where you stand. When people ask questions, you can relate to those questions, and it helps you to understand where you guys stand, right? And remember, if you need information that applies to your individual circumstances, you would be required to book appointment with me, and you can do so from our website. Okay, so I have a question from Gil. Gil is asking, hello sir, my age is done 40, my age is done 45 already. Which visa is good? I have 3 years of experience as a cook. So Gil, if you are 45 already, you can only apply for employer sponsored visa under DAMA labor agreement. Okay, I'm not sure where you're located. If you are in Australia, there are you must go and see a registered migration agent. So you will need an employer in the regional area. Most of the times the DAMAs are located in regional area, and that employer can help you with employer sponsored visa. You can become permanent resident until 55 in DAMA area. Okay. All right, so we have 14 viewers, guys. If you are on YouTube, Facebook, continue bringing questions there. And if you haven't hit that follow button so far, please do it now. I want everyone who is on TikTok, I want all of you guys to please come to YouTube. I want to show you my YouTube as well. So if you search Mohinder Mara Agent, that's my YouTube. Mohinder Mara Agent. I'm just going to show you right now. So this is my YouTube, Mohinder Mara Agent. I'm just showing everyone who is waiting, who is watching my live show on TikTok. So please come to our YouTube, Mohinder Mara Agent. That's my YouTube channel. Sorry, Mohinder Migration Agent. Sorry. Mohinder Migration Agent Australia. That's my YouTube channel, because I want to show you some statistics. Okay, so there were a lot of questions about 189 round. So the Department of Home Affairs has updated their website. Okay, and you can now see how many people got invited and at what points. Okay, so if you follow me on YouTube, I'm sharing screen there as well. Okay, so the latest round that happened for 189, which happened on 21st of August 2025, the Department of Home Affairs invited 6,887 EOIs. Okay, so 6,887 EOIs, and they invited that's in 189, and then they invited 150 EOIs in 491. Okay, now they also have given a list of occupation, and they also have given tie break date. So tie break date is the date at which a person reached that number of points. So basically, tie break date is the date at which the person reached at that number of points, and that date as well as that time. So tie break point is a point, is a time. So for example, let me give you some examples. So if there are like 100 people on say 80 points, and if they had only if they have allocated only 20 invites, so only those people, top 20 people, would be invited who achieved the highest possible points, or who achieved 80 points at the earliest date. So that is a tie break point. So for 189, they gave invitation to people who did their EOIs even in the month of August. And for the tie break point for 491 was May 2025. That was the time. So anyone who had their points updated in the month of May, they got invited. Now they've given a list of occupations, and they have also given the number of points or the cutoff here. So you can see most trade occupations, for example, carpenter and joiner, bricklayers, they were invited as at 65 points. Okay, most of the occupations in professional fields, such as electrical engineers, electrical engineering draft person, at 90 points, electrician general at 65 points, electricians at 65 points, electronic equipment trade worker at 110 points, very, very high. There were environmental consultants, cutoff was 90. We have glaziers at only 65, like another occupation. A lot of people are not aware of this. In trade occupations, glazier is another occupation that is in high demand. So we had glaziers invited at only merely 65 points. There are only 1 or 2 institutes in Australia who does certificate 3 in glazing. So very, very good occupation. We have less than 25 EOIs as a glazier. So if you want to take admission in the glazier course, or you want to become a glazier, if you are studying trade course, then just reach out to us. All you have to do is to send us a message on this WhatsApp number. And if you guys are on, I think I have forgotten to put my number on the screen. So yes, now on YouTube as well on Facebook, you can see our number scrolling on the screen. Our website address is also scrolling on the screen. You can send a message on WhatsApp only, +614521692000. You send us a message, and we will help you out with your questions. So I was also going through Joiner, 65 points. Life scientist general was invited at 90 points. Landscape architect at 90 points. Marine biologist, 90 points. Material engineer, 90 points. So most of the engineers, they got invited at 90 or higher points. Okay, medical laboratory scientist at 90 points. Medical practitioners, NEC at 80 points. Metallurgist, 90 points. So we have lots of occupations they were invited. They have given whole cutoff here. So if you guys are watching my live on YouTube and Facebook, you can see that on the screen, because that data for 189 round has got updated on Department of Home Affairs website, and I'm showing what points each occupation was invited at, and what was the cutoff. RNs, a registered nurse, aged care at 80 points. RN, child and family health at 80 points. Most RNs 80 points. We had a couple of RNs invited as well. Roof plumber, 85 points. Secondary school teacher, 85 points. Solicitor, 90 points. Solid plasterer, again, 65 points. So if I have to name 4 occupations in construction sector: carpenter, bricklayer, solid plasterer, and wall and floor tiler, all would be invited at 85 points in next 1 to 2 years. 65 points in next 1 to 2 years. Very, very important. We had valuers, 90 points, zoologists, 90 points, and wall and floor tiler, again, 65 points. So all the construction, stonemason, 65 points again. All the construction related occupations, they got invited only at 65 points. And then university lecturer, there are lots of people who have university lecturer skills assessment. The cutoff was 85 points. So very, very important data. Okay. Now, another thing that comes up with the same in the related thing. Now, because the Department of Home Affairs has mentioned, they are going to keep the nomination places same. So migration levels stay at 185,000. And if the states don't change, if the states receive the same allocation, because the total allocation is same from the Department of Home Affairs, so state may or may not change anything. I'm going to retreat how many places we had in 2024-2025. So ACT had 1,000 places for 190, 800 for 491. New South Wales has 3,000 and 2,000 respectively. NT had 800 each. Queensland had 600 each. SA had 3,000 plus 800 respectively. Tasmania had 2,100 for 190, 760 for 491. Victoria had 3,000 and 2,000. Western Australia had 3,000 and 2,000 respectively. So that was the case. Just give me a sec, guys. Okay, so that was the case last year, and things may not vary a lot this financial year as well. All right, so here we go. I hope that information was helpful. If you have any questions in relation to that information, please post those questions here. So Hadia, there were no occupation invited at ICT system analyst. You can see that there. Let me have a quick look. So no IT occupation. I don't think there was anyone invited in IT occupation. So there was no IT occupation. So this only shows the number of occupations, the different types of occupations that were invited. Okay. So for IT, so far, it's not looking pretty good. Okay. I have a question from Ashish D. Ashish is asking, hi, sir, I have 85 points in ECT, including 15 points from the state. What are my chances in New South Wales? So New South Wales, regional New South Wales could work for you because you are eligible for pathway 1 in regional New South Wales, as well as 190 as well if you're living in regional. So keep an eye for that. Victoria could also be another option. You really need to sort of figure out how long can you wait, and how long your visa is valid for. If you have 1 to 2 years, sticking in region New South Wales and finding relevant job could work out for you. Sandaru Hirushan is asking, I have 85 points for 491 Victorian Telecommunication Network Planner, working in field, 65K, any chances? So Sandaru, I would recommend you only regional Victoria. Okay, MRSSW24Z. I have 90 points for 491 in motor mechanic in SA. Last year, not invited. I have almost 3 years of experience in the same field in SA. What are the chances for state nomination or employer sponsorship? I think employer sponsorship, if you have 3 years of work experience, go for 186 direct entry. That would be easier, because South Australia did not prefer many motor mechanics and chef and cook related occupations, so it was a bit difficult. Okay, guys, please bring all the questions on YouTube and on Facebook. Let me show you again our YouTube channel. Our YouTube channel is Mohinder Migration Agent Australia. Mohinder Migration Agent Australia. So bring all the questions there. Okay, for those who are new to my live shows, I would love to introduce myself to all of you. My name is Mahinder Singh, and I'm a registered migration agent. We are based in Adelaide, South Australia, but we serve clients throughout Australia as well as overseas. If you have any questions, you can, post those questions in the comment box. If you want to bring your questions to YouTube and Facebook, that's wonderful. And please be mindful, any information that you hear in the live shows is generic only, and it may not directly apply to your individual circumstances. If you want to get information that applies to your individual circumstances, you would be required to book appointment with me, and you can do so from our website. So there, we have been updating the websites regularly, and sometimes there are issues. So while booking consultation, if that is the case, please let us know. Send us a screenshot what error the website shows, so we can fix it and help you in booking appointment manually. But hopefully the website works. Our consultation charges are $165 in the first consultation. That gives you half an hour to 45 minutes to talk to me directly. And when you sign up with us for any of the services in future, that $165 becomes part of the final quote if you sign up within 6 months. Okay. And there are a couple of emails and letter of advice. We also send you, black and white letter of advice in email about what we have discussed, what your options are. So you guys know where you stand, and you don't lose any money, the money that you pay in the consultation. And if you don't sign up, obviously, that is the value you get. You get a letter of advice, you get to know what your options are, and you get to get all the questions clarified from me. Okay, so I'm back to questions. So many questions are coming from our all platforms. I am a little restricted to take questions from TikTok itself, but when the questions dry on YouTube and Facebook, then probably I'll take questions on TikTok. So continue helping me in double tapping the screen. If you haven't followed us so far, this is the time to hit that follow button. Okay. Amir was asking, sir, what are requirements for SID 482 under ACLA for PCA? So what are the requirements? So either you have Cert 3 or you have 12 months of work experience, and you have employer who is willing to sponsor you, who already have aged care labor agreement. These are like generic requirements. Okay, Poonam is asking, community service worker in SA, 70 points, not invited last year. Any chances this year for me? So Poonam Tiruva, outer regional could be answer to your problems or answer to your question. So if you find a full-time work in outer regional, then you can target 491 as well as 190. There's a lot of competition in this occupation. Lots of people study community work, but there are not as many jobs. That is one option. And you can also look for employer sponsored visa under DAMA labor agreement as a aged care, as a NDIS worker or support worker. That could be another option. Guys, if you are listening to my live show, we have a training visa position available in Adelaide through one of our employers, one of our clients who is the employer, NDIS provider. This will suit someone who has at least 2 years of full-time work, has finished say you are not eligible for 485 visa because your age is more than 35 or 36. You're not eligible for 485 visa. You don't want to go on another student visa, and you have just finished your study, preferably diploma in community service or bachelor's in community service or even human service is fine. You can send your resume to us. The email is available on our profile. So if the employer is willing, they can conduct interview with you, and you have a chance to get a training visa from there. The employer is already temporary activity sponsor, and if you meet the criteria for training visa, we can do it for you. Okay, but it will help someone who has at least 1 to 2 years work experience as a support worker and has recently completed diploma in community service or bachelor's in community service or bachelor's in human service, and you are not eligible for 485 visa because of your age. Okay, so you can contact us. You can send your resume to our email, and we'll connect you with the employer, and if the employer is willing, that could be possible for you. Okay, so we have same question coming from Poonam. Poonam, I think I have already answered your question. Vivek was asking, Victoria ECT 80 for 491 points, what are the chances? Vivek, out in Victoria, regional area, and probably regional area which is 150k away from Melbourne, so core regional area, you can get invited for 491 if you are working as ECT in regional area. We had few 6 or 7 ECTs invited last financial year for 491, and all of those visas were granted, and they have even served 6 or 8 months on your 491 visa too. There are two options, guys. Either you be choosy, or you just look what circumstances are going on around and how difficult it is going to be in future in that particular occupation, because a lot of people are studying. So you got to have the right strategy in place and make right decision. Anup is asking, hi sir, I have 90 points for 491 for ECT. I'm living and working in regional Victoria as an ECT with 484k salary, 84. So Anup Kaki, high chances for you to get invited. If you are working in regional, your salary is pretty good. But at the sidewise, also get your employer to prepare for your employer sponsored visa if nothing materializes by that time. Okay, because states are not open yet. We are in the beginning of September. Hopefully, next 2 or 3 weeks, most states will open. Victoria has a ROI system, and you might get 1.5 month before your visa runs out to do ROI and stuff. I mean, it can materialize in just 2 weeks, but as a backup option, you should also talk to the employer so you also have other options available. Pretty good for you. Geelong is pretty good. Sir, as you mentioned, to go for 186 DE for motor mechanic, what are the chances for that, as motor mechanic is not in demand much nowadays? So remember, 186, a direct entry visa, has nothing to take with demand. As long as your employer is willing to sponsor you and they have a genuine position and the employer is in profit, the business is in profit, it is making money, and you are working for that employer, they can do a 186 visa for you. So there are 2 steps involved: nomination as well as visa. I don't see any hassle if the business is profitable and if genuine position is available. Okay, Benjamin is asking 95 points with the superior English for 491 and 85 for 190 for 639211. The chances I am offshore. So from offshore, I would only recommend you, if you have superior English, 639211. I have to check what occupation it is. If it is a non-priority occupation, I can only say all the best to you. Given the limited number this year, again, the chances of invitation from offshore would be limited. Okay, 639211. So retail buyer, limited chances. I think this occupation, again, not in high priority. So limited options this year, Benjamin. Submitted EOI on December 2024 for ICT project manager position, regional 843 now, applied for 90 for 75. Look, if you are currently employed, explore employer sponsored visa options. Your points are on lower side, and your age is also more than 40, and you are going to be ineligible very soon completely because of your age for other visas, this is high time for you to look for other options such as 482 or even 186 direct entry if you are eligible, or even 494 as well. If you're in Perth, whole Western Australia is eligible for that area, is eligible for subclass 494 visa as well. Okay. Guys, if you haven't hit that follow button so far, let's do it now. And because there are not many questions on YouTube now, so I'll pick some questions from TikTok. So first of all, please do not post the same question again and again. Okay, I am going to start with the Ainoshi. Hi, I'm doing graduate diploma of early childhood and I'm currently working as an educator in SA. Ainoshi, if you're studying graduate diploma in early childhood, great, well done. If you okay, sorry guys, I had to respond to this. Yep. So if your employer is willing to sponsor you, reach out to me so I can assess the employer's situation and we can help you with nomination and the visa lodgement. So Hoshi, if you are in South Australia and if you are studying early childhood diploma, working as an educator, looks good to me. You are working in the relevant field. Which I just need to know how long your current visa is valid for, and you got to be aware that you can't register yourself directly in South Australia because South Australia does not allow 1 year of graduate diploma for early ECT registration. So you may be required to register in Victoria first and transfer your registration to South Australia. Finding a job as ECT is a critical factor. Educator job is fine, but it is not in the appropriate skill level. So if you have to meet South Australia's criteria, then you would be required to work as ECT, which can happen in future. So far you are good and you are looking on track. And if you need to make a plan for next 1 to 2 years, please head to my website and you can book appointment from there. So I can guide you the steps that you need to take now so as to secure your future pathways. Okay. I'm civil engineer with 90 points living in Victoria. Should I move to Perth? I have 3. Hamid Khan, if you are a civil engineer at 90 points, I'm not sure if you are currently employed. Number one, very, very important. If you're not employed, Victoria may or may not invite you. And would Western Australia invite you? Not sure either. So you've got the best chance in the state where you're currently employed rather than making like altogether a quick move or unplanned move. Okay, I would so if you have like 1 to 2 years visa on you, then you probably can wait in Victoria itself. Okay, civil engineer occupation and 90 points for 189 is also fine, and for 190 is also fine in as far as points are concerned. And if you are on 90 points, that means you have superior English. So occupation is generally Victoria is very erratic. You know, they really don't give much information. I think last year, in the last financial year, they used this software which was sending invites to people. So even we don't know how that happens, but that's the story. And 90 points looks reasonable to me. Gurpreet Singh, I travel UK, Mexico, Swiss, Spain, Poland, Portugal, Russia, Malaysia. So if Gurpreet, if you have traveled these many countries, and if you have great family ties, like if you have family members who are remaining in the home country where you would be coming to visit in Australia, then probably you can get Australian visa, a tourist visa. Shouldn't be a problem. Okay, so all right. So we have a question from Mungan K, which is the surest state to express interest in as a secondary school teacher for 190. New South Wales is good, Victoria is good, both states are good, and even South Australia is good if your points are high. Okay. 95 points, 491 in general accountant, New South Wales regional, in field job, any chance for sir? So 491, pathway 1 could be an option for you, and I think that's the only option for you. Saddam Hussein, sir, I have 75 points for 190 in Western Australia. CICL Tech working in field. I'm not sure what is CICL Tech. So if you just elaborate that, I might have a bit of idea. Kinu Amber, sir, please tell for EN 491 with 85 points in Western Australia. If you're a graduate, you can get selected in graduate stream, but again, there is a lot of competition in ENs as well in every state. If your visa is running out soon, probably prefer to speak to your employer about employer-sponsored visa, 482 or even 494 if that is eligible. Okay, all in all, the most of the questions people ask is about points and what your chances are. Now, in very simple words, superior English is a critical factor because it makes a difference of 10 points. And it is not only points. When we look at 190 and 491 visa, it is not only points. Different states have different priorities. Okay. For example, in South Australia, if your employment is very strong, you can still get invited, even if your points are not very high. But if your occupation is too common, and that's where they look at the superior English, they also look at a little bit of points, and they also look at your money, how much money you are making. At the end of the day, purpose of migration is to help the state or help the government to take up those positions, and when you earn money, the government automatically earns money from your taxes and the money that you spend in that state while you're living here, and in future you bring your family and all that, so the money that you spend on them. So it is, at the end of the day, it is all about that figure, how much money you are earning. So that's how they check your strength of the employment. They also check strength of your employment from your employer. Where have you been working, which business you are working, how good that business is. If the business is very small, they just put a lot of question marks on your status. Okay. And rightly so. Can you imagine how many people have done their job ready programs by paying money to the employer? Okay, I think 30-40% people have just paid money to their employer and done their job ready programs. They never actually worked in the occupation, and so many of you have already become permanent residents, and government actually knows this, but now they're really taking it seriously because they really want people who do the right thing. Those are the people they want to promote. Okay. Songe Dorji was asking, hi sir, what are the chances of 190 in ACT with 110 professional civil engineer? Currently I'm working and has been 3 months in this field. A civil engineer would have good chances in ACT. We have to look at their critical list. If your civil engineer is in their critical list, then you've got pretty good chances. Okay, Singh Love Sydney. Any chances for 190 or 491 in New South Wales for carpenter on 65 points? Again, New South Wales also have construction in their priority. I think if not 190, then 491 as a carpenter could be possible. Aman Randava, 80 points for enrollers. What are suggestions in Victoria? I would only suggest if your visa is valid for next 12 months, okay, and if you have full-time work rights, think about Tasmania. And if you find a full-time job in Tasmania as an EN, it could work out for you for 190. If you are in Victoria, you are in the pool of probably another 2,000 enrolled nurses who are waiting for invite. And many of them probably are on the same points as you. Okay. Continue asking questions, guys. And for those who are unable to ask questions here, I want everyone who is in this live show, I want all of you guys to please save this number on your WhatsApp. Okay. This number is +61 452 169 200. Okay. So you can save it with Endeavor Education and Migration Services. And you will not miss any updates because we put video links in the status whenever we have any meaningful videos, and that would really help you. Okay, anyone, if you guys have booked appointment with me in last 6 months, and if you have follow-up questions, you send me an email. Okay, so if you send me an email, in the same email thread I would have the letter of advice, and I can look it up what your situation was and answer your questions. This is what you actually pay for when you book appointment with us. So you pay for a letter of advice. So I'm going to write a letter of advice as well after we finish the appointment. And you will have 2 or 3 emails where you can ask follow-up questions. Okay. But your appointment should not have been booked 2 years ago. It has to be recent, within 2 to 3 months, or say maximum 6 months. I just see that as on case basis. Sometimes what happens, guys, we want to help people, right? But remember, this is my job. This is my full-time job. This is how I put food on my children's table, right? This is my full-time job. Talking to people is my full-time job. So you got to value someone else's time as well. This is why if you want to take half an hour of mine or 45 minutes, you are required to book appointment. Because when you make that small investment of $165, I know that you are serious about your future. And if you are serious about your future, I am double serious about your future. We are not only after your money, as I always say, we are after your life. We want to make your life. And we know how important it is to get right advice at the right time. Tanveer Ansari, hello sir, my question is that I have 90 points for 491 visa under IT occupation. So is there any chance to get invite from state or territory? Limited chances for IT, okay, at this stage. When we look at people getting invitation from offshore, remember IT related jobs would only be available in, especially if you have good skills in IT, maybe Melbourne CBD and Sydney CBD, and to some extent Perth. Adelaide is too limited for IT. Not that Adelaide you don't find any job in IT, but especially bigger IT companies are located in these bigger states. And that is why if you have IT related occupation, if Jobs and Skills Australia advises Department of Home Affairs that we need more IT professionals, generally they get invited from that 189 list. You get relatively less invitations from offshore in IT occupations. This is just my observation, because there are a lot of people who are currently located in Australia who come here on temporary visas, say 485 visa or student visas. If they are working in IT related field, they are more likely to be selected for 490 or 190 from the people who are already in Australia. Okay, your points are good. I can only wish you all the best. If you are in IT field, if you are currently employed overseas, explore your profile, explore other avenues, mainly employer-sponsored visa, because you can easily come to Australia. That can materialize in 6 to 8 months if someone is willing to sponsor you in Australia. Okay, if you have great skills, there are good IT companies out there. They may be able to sponsor you. Explore your friends and your colleagues in your home country, your bosses who may be working in the related field here and may have a position. That's the way to go if you don't get invited. Look, so you got to understand, Tanveer, again, you got to understand one thing. No matter how many how many occupations you get skills assessment. Remember, you can only get skills assessment in a related occupation. So it won't matter a lot, which occupations are there. right? So more or less, most IT occupations, they're sold at the similar number of points. So it won't make a huge difference. There's no, I don't think there is any reason for you to go for ACS again in any specific occupation. Okay, I hope that helps. Prince Patel was saying, hello, sir, my 407 employer nomination has been refused in chef. Can I reapply my 407 visa where I am working in painting trade with a new application? Prince Patel, if your nomination is refused and if your visa application is still intact, then we may have to do new nomination and new visa application. Okay, because look, I can only help you if I am assisting you with your work, so I can find a solution for your problem. I would recommend you to please head to my website at www.ems.com.au and book appointment to see me, so we can figure out what's going on and what is the best possibility, what is the best way to go forward. Alina is saying, any chance for 190 ECT 75 points? Will have extra from January 2026. But Alina, the question is, how long can you wait? It is not about just points or where you are currently located. It's about how long can you wait. So if your visa is running out in next 6 to 12 months, you really need to declare it like World War III and do everything possible so you can move on to other visa before your current visa runs out. Okay, at the end of the day, it all comes down to your time. Angie is asking, hello sir, what are my options for 80 points social work Queensland? So Angie, 80 points of social work Queensland, okay. 80 points, are they with state points? Queensland is not looking good, right? So I would recommend you, Angie, I can suggest you a few things. Please head to my website and book appointment so I can understand your personal circumstances, go through the point calculation, your work experience and all that, and then advise you accordingly. Okay. TAA, welfare worker in Western Australia, graduate 190, lodged mid-May 2025, family of 2 on visa grant. So if you have already lodged your visa, then probably, next probably 12 to 18 months, expect a decision on your application in 12 to 18 months. Fatima Batul is asking, any chance for self-sponsor as a chef running business in Western Australia? Look, self-sponsor as a chef, you might have seen lots of videos about it, but there's a big risk. Okay, there's a big risk. Kopila Wongley is asking, what is the chance of environmental research scientist in 75 points in New South Wales? Limited chances. Tara is asking, which state is best for ECT? No matter what state you are in, think about 491 or 190, and that too in regional if you are on lower points. Okay, if you have 85 or higher point, you can wait where you are currently. Where you are, you may get invited for 189, but 190 and 491 is something that you need to focus on as well. Okay. Rajamani, 70 points for community worker, Western Australia graduate. Very competitive this community worker occupation is. Tanvir, adding points, 5 more points would definitely help. Okay, so you have a follow-up question on Facebook. Adding 5 more points is definitely way to go. Jimmy, 90 points for chef in Western Australia. I think they invited few chefs for under a Western Australian graduate stream. Okay, but don't expect a lot. Alina, I'm not sure you have spoken to me before or you have booked appointment with me before, but if you are someone who has booked appointment with me before in last 3 to 6 months, if you have any follow-up questions, please send me email. I would be happy to help. So someone was asking, Just give me one sec. Okay, let's look at most common occupations. Okay, I'm going to give you a bit of information on most common occupations. So first, I'm going to look at chef. Okay, here we go. Here we go. So I am on YouTube and on Facebook, and I'm showing you occupation of chef. Okay, so now move on to my Facebook or on YouTube. If you are a chef or a cook, okay, let's look at the facts. Let's look at the numbers. At this moment, we have 11,491 EOIs for chef in the system. That is the data for 189. Okay. If I look at 95 or higher points, 95 or higher points, we have around 30 to 40 or maybe 50 people. 95 plus higher points. If you look at 90 or higher points, you are around 200, top 220 people. So if chefs got invited for 189, I don't think anyone with 90 points would get invited. Probably people with 95 or higher. Because if they give invites as chef, they may give 20, 30, or maybe 100 or maybe 120, because there are lots of occupations they select for invitation in 189 round. Like this round, they didn't give any invitation to chefs. And if you will look at like state and territory, if you look at states and territory, like Victoria, more than 3,000. South Australia, roughly 2,000. Queensland, roughly 1,500. New South Wales, 2,000. And again, this column above does not give us any breakdown of how many people in at specific number of points in that particular occupation in particular state. But looking at those numbers, as chefs, unless you have like 90 or higher points, you're not competitive even for 190 and 491. Okay, because that's not a priority occupation. When we see like 10,000, 11,000 people waiting for invitation, that shows that there's no there is demand, but there's a lot of supply as well. Okay, and this is why they say, hey, if you have skills, if you just have skills assessment, we're not going to take you in. But if you have skills and if you're employed in that occupation, let the employer sponsor you. Because most chefs, if you have 1 to 2 years good work experience, employers are willing to sponsor you, because you're going to make them 200,000, even if they sponsor you for like in 76 or 77,000 salary and spend a little bit of money on sponsorship as well. So if you are chef, most probably employer sponsor visa if you don't get invited. Okay. Okay. Sir, 80 points for 190, civil draft person, Western Australia, and 90 points for 491, any chance? Look, a civil draft person, if that is the only skills assessment you have, if you're not working and employed in the occupation, don't expect much. Let's be accountable. Let's be true to yourself. Okay. And under current circumstances, if you just hold a skills assessment and if you're not employed, that you are not on the right track. Okay. Varun Chauhan, most of the people who lost 190 has been waiting for more than 18 months. I also have a couple of visas waiting since 2023. So just sit tight. We are coming to that time when your visa application, the people who lost them in mid 2023, will be decided. Maria Carla is asking, hi, I'm taking up masters. Can I drop the course and take early childcare instead? So Maria Carla Paula, please send us a message on WhatsApp on this number, okay? And then I'll get my education counselor to give you a call, and discuss what is possible in your case. Can disability support worker sponsor under approved business sponsor in current new rule? No. No. So disability support worker can only be sponsored under DAMA labor agreements where disability support worker occupation is available in that particular DAMA, or under company specific labor agreement if the business does not fall in the DAMA region, or if the DAMA region does not have disability support worker as one of the occupation in their list. So they have to go for a company specific labor agreement if they have to sponsor someone as a disability support worker. So we do specialize in DAMA labor agreement and company specific labor agreements and employer sponsored visas in general, 482s, 186s, 494s. So if you have, if your employer does not know where to start, first you book appointment with us. First we understand what your situation is, and if you are eligible, then you connect your employer with us, and then we can assist you with the whole process. Okay. Mahesh Situla. Any chance with 90 points? System analyst, 5 more in November. Sydney 190. Look, with IT, I can't really say much because IT is not in priority. Not that you have no chances of getting invited, but always have backup options. Don't just rely on point-based invitations. Also explore other options, and if you're employed in the occupation, that is definitely going to help. Okay, Sheikh Akbar Hussain, company sponsor, is it 2 years or 4 years? What's the difference? So when we talk about labor agreements, in the labor agreements, the duration of the visa, the occupations are defined in the labor agreement. Skills assessment requirements, LMT requirements, they're all defined in the labor agreement itself. So generically speaking, 482 visa can be availed from 1 to 4 years. So you can apply for 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, or 4 years. Okay. When we talk about approved under standard business sponsor, 494 visa is, if you go in general stream, once granted is valid for 5 years. Okay, and after 3 years you can apply for PR. From 482 you can apply for PR after 2 years under TRT stream. Okay, but you must have worked at least for 2 years on 482 visa. So different visas, different rules apply. Again, a company sponsor, is it 2 years or 4 years? What's the difference? So again, depending upon the company's specific labor agreement, that is what defines the duration of the visa. Okay. Mitch 570, I have skills assessment as a business analyst. Can I also have assessment as management consultant? Yeah, if you're eligible, talk to ACS and read their criteria. You may be eligible. Geet by Anki. Sir, any chances for chef this year for 189, 80 points? 190, 85 points Queensland, or you advise to move. So Geet, look, if you have employer in Queensland, go for 482 or 186 if you meet the criteria. I don't think there is any chance for chefs in Queensland this financial year because they may have only 600 places for 190, 600 for 491. Such a big state, so it is going to go like this. Do you need to move a state? For chefs, there's no state that is welcoming chefs because every state has thousands of people waiting. If not thousands, then at least hundreds of people waiting. So employer sponsored visa is something that you can focus on. Okay. Jimmy, hi sir, what option I have after 485 if no sponsorship? What option do you have? The number of options could be anything. It could be partner visa. It could be student visa possible while you lodge it from offshore, depending on your profile, your history. It could be training visa if you meet the criteria. There could be a number of options. I would recommend you to book. Remember, guys, you got to invest on yourself. Most of us, I think all of us, anyone, I think most of us who is in the live show are more than 18. Okay. Raise your hand. Raise your hand or say yes if you are 18 years older or above. If you are 18 years or above 18 years. Raise your hands or just say yes. Write in the comment box yes, 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 yes. If you are 18 years or above, please type yes in the comment box. That's good. That's good. Okay, most of us are 18 years old. Yes. So, guys, I'm going to end my stream on YouTube and as well as on Facebook. Okay, so that was all for YouTube and Facebook. I'll spend a little bit more time on TikTok. So, just stay with me on TikTok and I'm going to end my stream on these two platforms. Okay, all the best. Take care. Okay, here we go.